Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I make videos for anyone who's looking to try and improve their chess in a club rating level, beginner level, any level really. I'm just documenting my chess journey, trying to make educational videos, make opening theory videos, do live chess games, sharing my thought process and all of that stuff. So if that sounds interesting, please consider subscribing as it would be greatly appreciated. Today's video will be looking at the theory to the Caro-Kann, the main line, but we'll be seeing what happens if black wants to castle kingside. And I'll also be showing a game between Evgeny Brev with the black pieces and Igor Glick, or Glick. I'm horrible with names, forgive me if I pronounce them terribly wrong. But I thought I'll show the theory, and then I'll show a game after it, so just so you can get a kind of understanding of how the games unfold. But anyway, let's stop wasting time and get into it. So e4, c6, d4, d5, knight knight c3, takes, bishop f5. The main line. I've made lots of videos on the theory to the Caro-Kann. I'll leave a playlist in the description if you want to see all of them. I made a couple on the main line. But anyway, bishop g6, h4 is played to try to threaten to win this bishop. h6, knight f3, and now a knight d7. h5, bishop h7, and now bishop d3 is played. Takes. And now I've shown the theory to what happens if black wants to castle queenside here. I believe if I was to play this, I would maybe castle queenside, maybe kingside. I mean, after I learned the theory to this game, to this opening with a kingside does look good as well. But if you want to learn the theory to the queenside, I'll leave a link in the description as well. So anyway, e6 is played here. And I've gone over in other videos, I've gone over e6. So there's a couple moves here. Knight f6, e6, or queen c7. Now, queen c7, you only play if you're going to castle queenside. Otherwise, you're just wasting a tempi, because you wouldn't really want your queen on c7 if you're going to castle kingside. You're just wasting tempi. e6 is played. e6 can transpose into queenside or kingside. And knight f6 would just be purely a kingside. Like, you wouldn't play it if you castling queenside. So I just want to say with e6, bishop f4 is the main move. I think it makes sense. Bishop d2 can be played, but bishop f4 is played. And I've gone over queen a. If you want to castle queenside and this happens, you can always go after this. You can go queen a5 if you want to castle queenside. And bishop d2 is the best move. c3 is okay, but this is better. This queen's perfectly placed here, so this is fine. You can continue just playing chess with the queen on here. It's on a nice square. So bishop f4 is played, and now, so if you want to castle queenside, you go here. But anyway, we want to castle kingside in this variation, so we go knight g to f6. After knight g to f6, I believe, what was it? Castles is played. Castles queenside. In the Caro-Kann, white normally castles queenside. It's very common to see. After castles queenside, we continue bishop e7 here, develop our bishop. We're not going to obviously develop to d6. I mean, e7 seems like the safest square. So e7 is played. And now here, we're approaching the end of the theory. And now the main move here, I actually believe is king b1. Yeah, king b1's the main move. Then it goes knight e4. But at the time the book I'm reading was published, knight e5 was the standard theoretical move. And I believe it's still very popular. And if you want to learn this opening, you'll need to learn how to combat this move. Now, knight e5 will be part of the game we'll be looking at, but I do want to show really quickly what happens if white here wants to continue, say, king b1. After king b1, what's the most popular move in the modern day? Castles kingside is played. Knight e4, takes. The reason for exchanging this knight is because this knight is probably controlling more central squares. This knight, it can't really come to f5 as well. And you'd want to free up, the white here wants to free up his pawns to push to attack our king. So knight e4 makes perfect sense. Knight e4, queen e4. However, we can go knight f6. I do want to say, in lots of Caro-Kann positions, I've seen this in the Karpov variation. I've seen it in the main line with castles queenside. Lots of times we'll kind of have a position like this when we can either put the bishop on f6 or the knight on f6. The knight on f6 normally does actually come with tempi. because we're attacking the queen, so queen e2. But sometimes this is a very strong, the e5 square. However, when we go knight f6, this e5 square becomes a nice little square for the white to put their knight. So it does come with a bit of this drawbacks as well. But I think if you deal with it fine, you'll be alright. So knight f6 is the main move. Queen e2. We do actually develop our knight with tempi. Queen e2, and now queen d5 with the idea to go queen e4. So that's pretty much the kind of basic opening theory to this line. And you'll probably have to do further research if you want to start playing this in your tournament games or whatever. But knight e5 was the standard theoretical move, and we'll be looking at it today. Knight e4, after knight e5, castles is what is played, and now king b1. So this could always transpose if white went king b1 before, and then after castles went knight e5. So I think knight e5 or knight e4 is kind of the two main knight moves, or the two main ideas that white would go for. And I think you should know how to deal with them both. Anyway, knight e5 is played, the knight is put on a nice outpost, and here white here goes black in the game. Evgeny Brev went rook c8. This move, defending this pawn, you'll kind of understand this move a bit later as the game goes on. But its main idea is to try prepare meet c4 with b5. That's the main idea, and then we can open up some files. We get a nice open files against the king. So anyway, white here Igor Glek goes queen f3, saying that we can't really go b5 because this pawn will fall. So trying to prevent any b5 ideas, as b5 is quite a common idea in the quite a thematic idea in the Caro-Kann. Okay, after queen f3 was played, queen a5, getting the queen out, not doing too much on d8, and it's also maybe there's a rook also, so just getting it out of the way, and there's no really way for white to kick the queen out. Anyway, c4 is played, and now rook f d8, getting on nice open, nice semi-open file, and now a rook d3, getting the rook into a more up the board. You know, it's probably control. Now it can also double as well. So quite logical moves. And now the next move by Evgeny Brev is quite nice actually. It's queen a6. As if you understand, I found this. If you understand the plans in the position, that's what I'm trying to teach the plans in these middle game positions. If you understand them, then all the moves make a lot more sense. For example, to someone who wouldn't know an idea of playing b5 here, would think queen a6 makes absolutely no sense. So I'm trying to learn myself middle game, kind of thematic middle game plans in the openings I play. So queen a6 is actually a good move because now if we play b5, this pawn is not defended, and we can kind of chip away at white's central control. Rook h d1 was played, and now b5. And now white has it's kind of a crucial moment. White here in the game goes a c5, shutting the position down. And now a b4 is played, just gaining more space, and putting this pawns want to be pushed when they're near the when it's opposite side castles. You want to push your pawns up. And now white here kind of goes a bit weird. White here goes knight e2, with the idea of pushing this pawn up as you would want to attack black's king. But knight e4 was a lot stronger. After knight e5, queen e5. Sorry, after knight e4, yeah, queen e4, sorry. After this, you could probably take here. After takes, and king h8. After queen g4, you'd probably have to do something like this. So yeah, after knight e4, you'd actually want to take this knight first, and then you probably want to move your king out and go here. So you kind of have to know what you're doing. I mean, this position, you could lose this position very fast as black if you don't know what you're doing. So anyway, the game continued b4, knight e2. So the knight doesn't really have any squares now. I mean, maybe you can go g4 and bring it back. But it's not as good. Anyway, queen b5 is played. Moving this queen out of the file, and now we can push this pawn up the board. G4 was played. And now a nice idea, knight d5. Bring this knight to a nice outpost. No pawns can kick this knight away, and just using the closed position, using the knights. Bishop h2 was played. After bishop h2, knight e5. Takes, and now a rook d7, just defending the 7th rank. And now rook b3 is played, because we don't really, white wouldn't want to allow us to move these pawns up the board, so it's just stopping us from moving it. And it's also, now if say a move like a3 is played, we can't take because our queen's hanging. I do want to say here, after rook b3 though, white would actually probably want to go knight f4, exchange this extremely strong knight, but that would fail to knight c3, because after takes, the king's getting mated, or we win in exchange. So knight f4 would have been better for white there, but it can't be played. Rook b3, now rook cd8. After rook cd8, queen d3. So trying to exchange queens here. And now Evgeny Breyev here continues a6. After a6, knight c1 is played. And now queen b7. Moving this queen so we can move these pawns. And this rook is kind of lost for squares in a way. So this rook, yeah, it's got to be careful. So anyway, queen c4 is played, trying to vacate squares for white's rook. So I think queen c4 makes a lot of sense. Now anyway, a5 is played, and now white plays quite a good move, a4, because we can't take en passant because our queen hangs. So just shutting down the position and saying that we can't really make too much more progress here, because we can't move this pawn, it's blockaded. Anyway, bishop f6 is played. This bishop's not really doing too much on e7 and on f6, so we can exchange this strong bishop on e5. That would be favourable. However, in the game, white played a weird move, bishop d6. White probably should have just taken, and but we still got really good squares. Look, our knight's quite good, and yeah, but this is probably what white should have done. However, white here goes bishop d6, and there's a very nice move here actually. I encourage you to pause the video and find it. It's definitely a move that gives black quite a big advantage. So if you did pause the video and you found it, there's a very nice idea, knight b6 here. After knight b6, this queen is hit and this pawn is hit. But if takes, we can just take this rook and this pawn will be falling. But the game did not continue like this. After knight b6, queen c2 was played. And now black continues here taking. F4 was played. This actually does look quite scary though, so black's defensive skills will have to be top notch. Queen b5. We don't really want to allow any nasty discoveries. I say we, but like I'm playing as a team with Evgeny Breyev, but I don't think Evgeny Breyev wanted to allow any nasty discoveries. So goes queen b5. Also, as you know, this knight is kind of trapped. I mean, if white can move this bishop away, then this knight's kind of just trapped. So queen b5 was played. G5 is played, takes, and takes. So there's black's up 2 pawns at this moment, but this position can get very scary. White's pieces can easily swing into the attack, and this pawn could become very weak. Anyway, rook g3 was played here, attacking this, and now bishop h7. Sorry, after rook g3, rook d6 was played, not bishop h7. I want to show you something. So after bishop g6, rook d3. Now, this is a very nice move here. Is rook d6, sacrificing the exchange. After if white continues here, rook g5, just rook d5 would be fine. But however, the game went takes, and now bishop h6. Sorry, I got the order wrong. To go that one more time. Take, rook g3, and now taking this rook, sacrificing the exchange, but there will be great compensation. Anyway, bishop h6 was played, and now queen f2. And now after queen f2, this move loses the game. I encourage you to pause the video and find the winning idea for black. So if you did pause the video and you did find it, Then it's knight c3, because we either win the exchange or horrible things happen. The game continued. B takes, and king a1, and then queen b4. This position is lost because if the queen tries to block or the knight tries to block, we just take here, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But anyway, and also there's another idea here to go rook b8. I thought this was the idea. And this is still winning. Say knight a2. We can even go. I believe we could even go bishop. Yeah, it was bishop d2, cutting off, and we either go here or here. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you got value out of it. If you did, I would appreciate if you could leave a like, sub, and thank you for your attention and time. I really appreciate it, and have a good rest of your day.